Hi, the Sleep Nanny here, Lucy Shrimpton. So I'm just sat here in my car after the school run on that very precious first week of school, the first week back to school or first week of school for some of you as well. And I just wanted to share this video with you and a quick bit of information for some of the things that have been going through my mind this week, and I'm sure things that have come up for many of you as well. If you know, your little one has gone back to school and is in one of those first few years of school or just started school, that first week or even those first few days can be a massive change and a real, shock to the system. And even children who have been at preschool full time for longer days, going in at breakfast time, not coming out till after tea time, you'd think that, well, they'll be fine, they'll transition just fine because they've already been doing longer days for a long time. It's not the same, and the fact that it is a big change, it's a new establishment, they have new friends, it's a whole different routine. It's emotionally draining, it's immediately going to take a bit more of a toll than their usual everyday. At preschool they're used to just going through the vibes that they go through, and it's really quite, let's say, they're used to it. Their body is used to it, they're used to it. It's not really that exhausting because they're used to it. Then they go to this new place and it's big school, and there's probably been lots of fuss made about, off to big school now, and it is a change, it's different, there's a bit more structure, I'm sure, and the whole newness about it can make it tiring, emotionally tiring. So just be aware that your child is very, very likely to be more tired than usual during that first week or so back to school or of school for the first time. And even those going into their second year of school, possibly even the third, are going to feel a difference if they've been off for the summer, or at least the routine has changed for several weeks, and then it's back to that routine and it's very different again. It might mean you get up and at it in a much more, regimented fashion because it's the school run, the school routine. Again, they get home, they have a series of things they do, and then it's bedtime. So the whole thing can be a bit draining. So some of the things I've been thinking about that can help with this, because I've been feeling this this week and really wanted to share this with you. The youngest was having her first week, full week of school, and the difference has been really interesting to see, in her mood and all sorts, and I know it's because she's tired. So some things I want to share with you. Getting organised always helps. So having a slick routine and process to the morning so that you're not a frustrated mess. I mean, I've been there, and times when you just feel like you're rushing out the door in a hot mess and you're tense, you're worried and stressing about being late. That rubs off on the children. Then once you've taken them to school, you come away thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't, I wish I hadn't been that way this morning, or I wish it wasn't like that. So getting organised, knowing that you need to be having breakfast by this time, that they do take their time and they need some time to eat or whatever. Just knowing what you need to fit in and how long that takes, and just allowing enough time for that so that you don't have to do it in a mad rush. If you have a little one, because you might be taking one to school and still have smaller ones around as well, or a baby to think about, you just need to factor in a little extra time for what ifs. What if one of them has a meltdown? What if you're about to go out the door and the baby's nappy explodes everywhere? There's possibilities of things that might get in your way. So rather than having a freak out about being late because of that, factor in a bit of extra time. And even I've experienced this one this week. I'm sure many of you have a toddler, a preschooler, or even a school-aged child who just decides that they're not going to get in the car seat. They don't want to get in the car seat, and then you have that extra battle, and you're there thinking, I need to be driving right now, but instead I'm having a standoff with a child who won't get in their car seat. So factor in a bit of time for that. Just think that actually from getting out of the door and pulling away in the car can take longer than maybe it should. And if you do end up a bit early, brilliant. Time to have a chat, maybe look at a reading book or have a story, play a game, in the car, I Spy or whatever. A bit of bonding time. If you get that bonus time, happy days. So getting organised is one big thing you can do, and factoring in extra time in the morning. Another thing to consider is when they're tired like that, they're really going to benefit from having an early night. Now, if you have a child who wakes early, or maybe has started to wake early, don't panic and think, well, my child used to wake at 7 and now it's 6:15, what's going on? You know, maybe they don't need as much sleep anymore. It's not likely. It's probably the fact that they're overtired that's causing them to wake earlier. I know that sounds backwards, but that's what sleep does. Overtiredness causes things like disturbed nights, early rising, bedtime battles. So if you've seen any of this crop up, if you've had a few, tantrums at bedtime or struggles at bedtime, if you've seen some wake-ups in the night, some I'm scared of the dark, and little things coming up in the night that weren't there, and waking up earlier than usual, that's an alarm bell. Overtired. And the best way you can fix that with a little one who's just gone to school or has just gone back to school is have some early nights. For the first few weeks, just shift bedtime forward by half an hour. If they normally go to bed at 7, make it 6:30. That might sound desperately early, and you might think, well, how are we going to fit in tea and homework and everything else? You'll get in the groove, you'll find a way, but just shifting it a bit earlier temporarily, just while they adjust, could make all the difference. Catching up at weekends is another good one as well, on a Friday evening, instead of going, well, they don't have to go off to school tomorrow, so we can be a bit more relaxed. Get them off to bed nice and early on that Friday so that they don't have to rush off in the morning and they can catch up and again, replenish some of that sleep deficit, because it really does help to be better rested. I know I'll be doing that tonight, that's for sure. So going to bed a bit earlier really will help. I did actually witness this one myself with one of my children that would normally wake up about 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning, and suddenly it shifted right back to about 6, 6:15, and I thought, what's going on? This is not normal. And if anything, bedtime was still on the sort of summer holiday mode and shifting a little bit past 7. So immediately I went, right, early to bed, fixed. Within a few days, all sorted, back to the usual wake up time. So trust me on that one, early to bed really, really does help, and it often means later to rise. So it's a good thing, trust me. And the other thing I wanted to mention is about the bedtime battle. So if you know that your little one is likely to be in that tired state where everything's a drama and I don't want to have a bath, or and it just turns into a rigmarole at bedtime with the bedtime routine, then try switching it round a bit. Try moving things earlier will help, but if you have got a number of things to get done and you're worried that process is all going to be a little bit late when they're very tired, you could say, okay, well, today we're going to come home from school and we're going to have a bath and get into our pyjamas all nice and cozy, and then we're going to go and have some dinner or read a book or do the homework or whatever it is, knowing that child is actually all ready for bed, all bar brushing their teeth and having their story. They are actually ready for bed. So the big stuff's done, especially if you have lots of little children. My 2 are small, close in age, and it can be a handful when you've got 2 of them at it. So 3, 4, however many you have. So try doing that, putting them in the bath a bit sooner, getting them all ready, and then finish off the routine. That doesn't have to be every day. That could be something maybe you just do when you sense that, yeah, okay, this isn't going to go well tonight. I know we've got some tired ones on our hands. So, yeah. Normally I would say bedtime routine should be same step, same order every night. And that is the general rule of thumb. But if you need to tweak it during this sort of phase whilst they're just getting readjusted to their usual routine, then it's okay to do that now and again. It's something we do when the kids have swimming. If they have their swimming lesson after school, we go home, bath, pyjamas, and then we finish off the evening routine. So hopefully some of these tips will be helpful for you if you have a little one that's just started school or is just going back to school and they're in those early few years. Then just be mindful that they are likely to be tired no matter what they were doing before. Even if they've been full-time in preschool, they are likely to have a different level of tiredness for a little while. It's not their fault. Help them through, make some adjustments, and you'll get back on track really soon. I hope this has been helpful, and I will catch you again soon.